Ms. Kryger, you say that your mother's ex-boyfriend, Mr. Dittmer, has denied that you were his daughter for much of the past 34 years due to his anger over paying child support. Now you and your mother have brought him here to prove that he is your biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dittmer, you say you accidentally agreed to pay child support for Ms. Kryger, and you claim that you never believed she was your daughter because her mother, Ms. Lee, cheated on you throughout your 12-year relationship. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I got duped into paying child support, Your Honor. They sent certified mail to my mother's house, and I wasn't there. I was in Colorado. And when the certified mail came, my stepdad signed it. So they held court without me and found me in default because I wasn't there. Well, anyways, when I came back from Colorado, it was something I was running from the law from. I paid my bond to get out of jail. And after I paid my bond to get out of jail, they said, you ain't going nowhere. The friend of the court has a hold on you. And so I had to pay $300 more to get out of jail. And when I went and talked to the court clerk told me that by paying the $300 that I admitted guilt. And I got stuck paying child support for the rest of Jamie's life, yes.
And you don't believe she's your biological child?
I do have my doubts.
Your Honor, I have pictures right here that will prove without a doubt.
Let me see that evidence, please, Ron.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. These are pictures of
Jamie as a baby.
Jamie as a little girl.
Yes.
The next picture is
Mr. Dittmer.
Mr.
as a
Dittmer,
boy.
and you believe they look exactly alike.
Look at him, yeah. How can he deny her?
Do you see the similarity?
Not really, Your Honor.
Miss Lee, were you intimate with anyone else?
Yes, I was, but at that time, I was not. I was very close to his family. I met him when I was 14, Your Honor. His family was my family.
It's okay, take your time.
Everybody, when there's babies born, compare and say how much they look like me on my dad's side of the family also. So how could they look like me if I have a different dad and that's from my dad's side of the family?
Your Honor, the older two children have blue eyes and blonde hair. Jamie's always had darker hair with a hazel or brown
And you
eyes.
never claimed them or paid child support on them. Why?
Well, because you didn't tag them and you never had me
If you were a man and responsible, you would have signed the birth certificate.
I didn't want the children in the first place. You was the one that wanted marriage and babies.
Yeah, I did.
She stopped taking the pill and got pregnant, Your Honor, and had the first child.
Yes, I did. I
And
sure
so-
She
did.
tricked me again.
I did.
She's been tricking me my whole life, I think.
My mom's parents died when she was 2. Her grandma got sick and passed away, and that's how my oldest sister came along. She felt she needed something closer to her, and so she admits to tricking him, but she was also very young.
Very, very young.
And I've been on my own since I was pregnant.
How long did this relationship go on?
12 years, 13 years, I
You
don't
have
know.
2 older children,
Yes.
but you're denying Jamie, Miss Kryger.
She's the one that looks different than the older children. The older children have blonde hair, blue eyes. Jamie has dark hair, hazel or brown eyes. The older children are more athletic.
Well, every child is different.
Well, why would she trick me into paying child support like that, Your Honor? I mean, I wasn't even at the hospital when Jamie was born.
You most certainly were.
No, I wasn't.
Oh my God.
No, I was
really?
not.
That upsets you, Miss Lee? You don't, because he doesn't,
Lying, Your Honor.
No, I'm not.
is he on her birth certificate?
No, he's not. He took me to the hospital.
I don't remember that, Your Honor. What
You don't remember?
I don't recall that. When I was younger, I did do a lot of drinking, but I still don't recall that. I don't remember her. And why would she trick me into paying child support? Why would she send certified mail to my mother's house when she knows I'm in Colorado?
I didn't do it. The state
courts.
did it because I had to get help raising my 3 kids alone.
Well, I just know it happened.
Miss Kryger, when did you find out that Mr. Dittmer was denying he was your biological father?
In 2007. I stayed with him for a month before I got my place. At first, it was just all of a sudden I was hearing all this, how I wasn't his kid, and I just kind of backed off, but I've always been raised with him as my father. Before we moved to Monroe, he used to occasionally come by and visit us outside because he wasn't allowed in the house because of my
No, Your Honor,
stepdad.
I fought for 2 years to get visitation to see these children. I went through referees, I went through mediators. She kept saying that I would kidnap the kids, that she'd never see them again. It took me 2 years to get visitation, then they gave me supervised
No,
visitation.
it was your drinking, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to let my little children go with you drunk and have you driving with them drunk.
So,
My kids were
Mr.
not
Dittmer,
safe.
if you didn't think Miss Kryger was your biological child, why the visits?
Well, Your Honor, there was just doubts because her mother was messing around with another fella about the time that Jamie was conceived. I
No,
believe
I
a
was
couple
not,
other
Your
fellas.
Honor.
Yes, you were.
I had been going to church, Your Honor, with his mother, and
I'd
I had given my life to the Lord, and that is how it happened, because I went off the pill. I said, I'm not having sex again until I'm married.
Your
He
Honor,
knew
she's-
this. He knew I was not on protection.
She's acting
when we
like a
conceived
born-again
her.
virgin or something. That's not true, Your Honor.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Tell me what happened. You all were together, but you broke
She's
up?
always slept with other people, Your Honor. There was a couple people that I know
Yes,
for
and
sure.
you have as well.
Her best friend's folks told me she was messing around with this guy about the time that Jamie was conceived. So yes, she was messing around.
That's a lie.
No, it's not.
Now, this is unfortunate, Miss Kryger, Jamie, that you have to hear any of
Yeah,
this.
from what I
very.
hear, my mom's admitted it was, but it was the sister before me, but he doesn't deny her, and he always gripes about how he had to pay child support on me.
And that leads you to believe that it's about the money.
Yes, that's why it's...
Your Honor, the
A
child
little
support's
bit
been
more.
paid. I've got the final payment right here. I'd like to present it to the court.
I'd like
Put
to
it on
see
your-
that.
Well, I ended up talking to the attorney for the friend of the court, and I settled with him. They said I owed $13,000 at that time, and he said only $3,000 was owed in child support, that the rest of it was administrative fees, interest, and surcharges.
Yes.
And we settled for half of that, and so I paid it off to get it off my back so they'd leave me alone.
So you paid the amount of $6,500
Yes,
to
ma'am.
settle your child
Settle.
support debt.
Yes, ma'am. I
Because
think
you had
it's-
so many arrears,
Yep.
a $3,000 child support debt had
Well, they kept chasing me down. They wanted to throw me in jail all the time, and they kept threatening me. Every time I'd get a job, they'd want money, you know. They hounded me forever. As you can see, that's back in '07 there that I finished paying off. So it's been a while. As far as I'm concerned, I've always treated Jamie like my own, always treated her as my daughter. I go down there, I cut her grass, whatever she asked me to do. She came to me one time, she wanted a car. I helped her buy a car. She said, Dad, I'll pay you back. She sold the car. I never seen a dime. You know, I mean.
So, Miss Kryger, I see when you listen to this, you look emotional.
Yeah, there's been so many instances that he's helped me some, but he's also griped the whole way through. He told my daughter's dad that I wasn't his, and I had to hear about it, which is pretty embarrassing.
No, I never told her.
What
about it.
happened?
I told my middle child's dad, you guys were drinking, yes, but still, if you said it, then you feel it, and you shouldn't be telling my people that are my friends and stuff. It's one thing to say it to me. Say it to somebody else, that's just disrespecting, belittling to me, makes me feel less welcome. I got in a bad car accident, lost my job. I did a lot of struggling. He did help me for a couple of years when I had my middle child. I thought for Christmas, maybe I'll get $100, $20, like I usually get.
I give her money every year for Christmas, Your Honor. She comes over to my side of
$20.
the
She
family.
just said it.
No, more
I
than
got
that.
25
More than that.
Well, I mean, the fact is he's giving you something. I mean, because let's be honest, you all are accusing him of being about the money, the fact that he had to pay money for child support. I mean, he's paid the child support, he's even paid it off. The fact that he's even also giving you money on top of that seems to be.
He didn't though right away. Like when I was
even
little,
give
I
her-
asked for
I
some
even give her
rollerblades.
daughter money for Christmas too, my granddaughter.
But isn't this about more than money, really? I mean, how did you feel? Did you feel like you were his biological child, or do you feel like he treated you differently?
I always did for the longest time, but then as I became an adult, then he's telling me all this. My mom cheated on him, probably his cousins. He's telling me this and that.
Wait, he said you might be his cousin's child?
Yeah, he told me that my mom cheated on him with one of his cousins, and he didn't start doing things for me for Christmas till way later. Like, I found out the gifts that I did receive when I was a child, like, he did pay for it, but it was my grandma was the motivation driving force. He wouldn't even file his taxes because he didn't want my mom getting money. He always was griping he didn't want her having the money.
So, beyond money, I feel like that's all we're talking about today. Money.
Well, Your Honor,
money.
it's because her mother's greedy. I mean, when Jamie lived with a lady on the next street behind her mother, the child support check went to the next street over and her mother got upset.
What I'm trying to get at, Ms. Kryger, beyond the money, I mean, this has had to affect you. And I see the tears in your eyes. It's as if she has so much in her heart to say, but she's almost been like brainwashed, hypnotized, programmed. Anything that comes out of her mouth is how much money.
Well,
and this isn't about money. A child has no clue about money, and they shouldn't. That's not what you should be concerned with. When you were younger, did you feel like you were treated differently?
He never denied my other sisters, but he never paid a dime on them. So that's why it seems like it's kind of money. And then when he did help me, he'd always be griping, well, I don't even know if I'm yours, but I just gave you $20 to help you buy some diapers. And so it got to the point where, why ask him for help? I mean, he's just got it in the back of his mind, I'm not his kid. It makes me feel worthless and like, it's a lot of emotional abuse, and that's what sticks with you, and that's what stays.
That's what I wanted you to be able to say out loud. And you don't have to feel ashamed to say to two adult people, and you're an adult
It's
now.
embarrassing when somebody comes and tells me, oh yeah, your dad said he ain't even your dad.
Of course it is.
Like, I know he said he's had his doubts, but to go tell other people, and then my daughter's dad at that. I mean, come on.
And now I think you've just had a moment to be able to verbalize how that's affected you. When was the first time you ever even got wind of this?
Your Honor, that was my fault. I was drinking one time and I was mad because I was paying support, and I told Jamie that she may not be my child.
How old was she?
I think it was around the time he was settling child support because I moved to buy him in 2007.
When he said he was drinking, and he said he realizes he shouldn't have said that, but he says, I'm not even your father, I'm not your father. What was your response?
I was pretty shocked the first time I heard it.
Did you ask your mom about it?
I think the first person I called was my grandma.
Which was my mother.
She was my rock. She meant a lot to me. And, you know, somebody asked me, well, what if he wasn't your father? Well, my grandma was my everything, you know?
And you feel like if he's not your biological father, in a way, you lose the connection you felt like you had with your grandmother.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with. It's an emotional little roller coaster.
This is very emotional. This is deep-seated. You're 34 years old now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so thankful that you had the courage to come in here today, because what you've spoken about, it's not easy. You know, this is your day in court. When people have their day in court, it's just time to lay it on the line. So I think the only way that we can truly move forward in this moment is to get the results. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ron, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Kryger Lee versus Dittmer, when it comes to 34-year-old Jamie Kryger, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Dittmer, you are her father.
Oh.
Mr. Mr. Youngvert, you claim the defendant's infidelities not only caused you to cancel your wedding, but also now to doubt paternity of her 2-year-old daughter, Peyton. You're demanding a paternity test to prove you are not the father. Ms. Sandknop, you thought you were doing the right thing by being honest with Mr. Youngvert, but say your honesty has done nothing but cause turmoil in your household. You maintain you are sure Mr. Youngvert is your child's father. Mr. Youngvert, what's at stake today?
This ring, Your Honor. Our loyalty, our trust, our family, the way we handle things day to day is at stake.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
So this has truly affected your relationship
entirely.
and your ability to be a family.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you
I don't understand why I came clean about it. I mean, if he's still having trust issues, then what are we doing here? Why are we still together? He forgave me for it.
He says he's unable to move forward with the wedding until he knows for sure.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
And that hurts you as well,
Yes.
because you feel like you were honest.
Yes, Your Honor. And I feel like if I was honest with him about that one time, then why would I still lie?
Because if there's that doubt once, what's to say there's not that doubt again?
Why would I continue to lie? I did something wrong and I admitted my mistake.
Take me back. Tell me a little bit about this relationship.
We started young. She was 16, I was 17, and I always wanted to be with her. I always wanted her to be mine. Ever since then, we've been stuck like glue. I couldn't imagine life without him.
We thought all the pieces were gonna fit together, and they did, for a while.
And so take me to the day when she told you she was pregnant.
When I found out that she was pregnant, she, at first I thought it was a joke, but then, like 5 minutes into the conversation,
I sent him a picture of the paper of the HCG positive test that the doctor had given me.
That was the happiest day of my
And
life.
he called me immediately after bawling. He didn't believe it was the truth.
So you were very happy.
Oh, yeah, extremely.
I can see the emotion
Yeah,
right
just
now, even when you think about it.
I was beside myself, I couldn't say we were ready, but
We got ready fast.
we was ready.
You found out you were having a baby.
Yeah, I made her dinner. I was excited. I was happy.
You were excited because you thought you were the father.
Yeah, I called off work.
Because we
I
were
called my
finally a
boss and said,
family.
I'm having a baby. I just found out that we're pregnant. We made dinner, we sat down, and we just enjoyed each other's company.
And
I
so
immediately asked her to marry me.
You asked her to marry
Within
you.
like 5 minutes of it, I just held her hand.
And so you proposed, you said yes,
Of course.
and then what happens that
Because
changes the tide on all of this?
before I got pregnant, Your Honor, it was right before Christmas. We're doing fine, and then all of a sudden we got in a petty argument. I can't remember exactly what it was over, and it lasted for a couple days, and I ended up just wanting to give him his space because he didn't want to talk to me, and I really honestly didn't want to talk to him at the moment. So I went to the bar and I got drunk, and I ended up not remembering anything that happened to me that night, and my intention wasn't to cheat on him. I didn't go out to have sex with another guy. I went out to just relax, take a breath, and just recollect my thoughts and let him have some time to breathe.
But she can't explain to me. I want details. Every man wants details. Every man wants to know who did it, who it was, when it happened, why they do it.
And
she
that's
can't
what I'm
remember a
confused
thing.
about. From that night, the only thing I can remember is taking a couple sips of my first drink. And the next thing I remember, I'm waking up in somebody's bed. I don't know who he is. I don't know where I am. I don't know what happened. And I looked around to try and find all my stuff, and I was trying to recollect what had happened, and
so
nothing came to me at all. And to me, it seems like somebody took advantage of me that night.
So you went to the bar to basically drown your sorrow.
Exactly.
And ended up waking up in a stranger's bed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you know
I
if
felt
you had
guilt
had
immediately.
sex?
I have no clue. I tried, while I was gathering my things, I was looking around, in the garbage can, and trying to see if I could find a condom or a condom wrapper, but I didn't find either.
Where was this person? when you
Asleep
woke
in his
up?
bed, and I woke up, I gathered my things, and I left. I didn't stick around to see what would happen.
When you woke up, did you have your clothes on?
Partially.
At one point, Mr. Youngvert, did you find out about this night?
I told him 2 months after I found out I was pregnant. I tried to break it to him easily, but he could tell right away that I had something on my chest that I wanted to get off because
We were still in the beginning.
of the pregnancy, and we were still fresh parents. And I was so ashamed of myself for betraying the one that I love, the man that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I wouldn't have said yes to him when he asked me to marry him if I didn't want to spend the rest of my life with him.
In the beginning, I had no idea. I had made dinner for her, and she sat down. She's within the first 5 to 7 minutes, she told me, you know, she's like, I got some news for you. And then just right then and there, I knew, you know.
He's like,
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
And when you heard this news that she had this night and cheated, what did you do?
I stormed out. I mean, I didn't go drink.
You canceled the wedding?
I canceled the wedding. I canceled everything.
we didn't break up. He just said the wedding's off.
The wedding.
He said forget about the wedding.
Walked away. I didn't talk. Didn't answer any
It's
text.
not just him that's hurting. It's me hurting too because that 3% possibility that he's not her father, I won't be able to tell her who her father is because I don't know.
And I can see that upsets you. Mr. Youngberg, at what point did you figure out that the other man may be the father?
We sat down and I
went through the
got up
app.
on this app and we just started punching in the days. I have it right here. I could present this to you if you don't mind.
I would like to see it, please.
It's about the.
So you went back to this app that you discovered.
Yes.
Tell me what this shows me.
The
In yellow are the dates you were ovulating. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then in blue are the dates you were intimate with Mr. Youngberg.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in red is the date of the one-night stand
Yes, Your Honor.
for which you have no recollection.
Yes, ma'am.
Both of these men fall within the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
Once you realized this, did you ever try to find the other guy?
I tried to rack my brain to try and remember anything. I can't even remember the name of the bar.
We ended up-
I can't remember, like, I'm trying to think about, like, retracing my steps to see if anything looked familiar, and nothing helped. I can't remember anything about that night.
And how do
And
I
you
know?
have no idea.
No clue whatsoever.
And I have no clue if this is the only time that she don't remember.
Hold on now, Mr. Youngberg, you said something important. You're saying,
You don't remember this time. How do I know? She's not going to do that again or has already done that again.
Okay, well, at least I told you about what I did instead of hiding it from you and going behind my back to one of my really good girlfriends,
if you just
texting her, telling her to text me so you guys can see each other.
I know, but I
wait a minute.
And you want to say that what I did was wrong, what you did was wrong too. No, you may have never gotten together with her, but you still attempted. And you still would have continued if I wouldn't have stopped you.
I wasn't getting.
You weren't getting the what? The
wasn't-
satisfaction that you need as a man at home?
Exactly.
With the woman who sits at home all day, every day, taking care of our
I wasn't
child,
getting the
taking
attention
care
I
of you.
needed. I wasn't getting the attention. I'm the breadwinner. I'm the one
I
who
never
makes the
said
money.
you're not.
She hasn't worked in 6 years.
And why is that, Mr. Youngberg? Why is that? You asked me the day that we got together, don't worry, honey, you'll never have to work a day in your life.
That's me being a man.
And that's me acknowledging I respect you for that. How many times have I told you I want to go get my own job so I have something to feel good about?
You don't need to do that. I make
I
the money.
feel like I need to. I want to. I want to feel appreciated like I appreciate you.
I can gather that there is very little trust in the relationship right now.
I trust him 100%. I trust him. I've gotten over his...
Do you trust her, Mr. Youngberg?
No, he does not.
Not wholeheartedly.
Well, you
no.
asked the court for a lie detector test, and that lie detector test was administered. We will have those results in just a moment. I want to know specifically, you say you trust her to an extent. It's obvious one of the reasons why you don't trust her, but why?
There's been, in the beginning, even while she was pregnant with our daughter, she would get texts saying, "Are you up?" from random numbers. These aren't numbers that are named in her phone, like, "Are you up? Is Dustin around?" ? You know, and then I'd be awake, I'd catch this, and I would not reply. I would not reply.
Come to find out it was his friend texting my phone
No.
because his phone was dead one day and he had my phone.
My friends, no. But
Yeah. I'm sick of the name calling. He calls me a whore. He calls me a slut.
I'll get
it's like
I'll get
a couple
text after
times a
text in the
week or
middle of
maybe
the
a
night.
couple times a month, he'll just get this wild hair just for no reason.
I'll
Just
delete-
keep bringing up, you know, oh, well, why don't you go have sex with this dude and not tell me about it? Or why don't you go and do this?
Mr. Youngberg, you're talking like that at home?
Yeah, it's just that has to.
Well, you
like, she's
told
not
the
there.
court that you trusted her somewhat, but it doesn't seem like you trust her at all.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
I don't see this.
You don't trust me.
her,
Before he goes
Your
to
Honor.
bed at night?
Oh, you didn't, trust me, that was testimony you had already given.
I do not trust her.
You don't trust her.
You're right. I want to.
As you look at Peyton, do you see yourself? Do you see a resemblance?
I mean, her hair, it's pure blonde. I'm a redhead.
I was
you know?
a blonde as a child, Your Honor.
And I got hazel eyes. Yeah, her eyes get green, her eyes get blue, and we'll get down
You
there.
have green eyes, and I have blue eyes, and her eyes are
We've
mixed.
analyzed her together. We'll get down there, and you'll be like,
what did
no,
I
look
tell
at the,
you?
look at the blue
What did I
inside
tell
her
you?
eyes. Look at the blue inside her eyes. Like you
What
try
did I tell you?
you brand it into my head.
Two
that
brown-eyed
little
parents
girl's
could have
mine.
a blue-eyed baby. It's all about the recessive and dominant genes. You don't know what color her eyes are gonna be.
So the bottom line is, Mr. Youngberg, this is a beautiful baby. It lives in your home. And when you look at her, you continually have doubt about who her father truly is,
Every
if
day.
she's really
Not
your
just
biological
about
child.
who her father is, about my actions and what I'm doing. Like, there'll be times when he's getting ready to go to bed and he'll be like, am I gonna wake up with you gone again? Which
Yeah,
has
because-
never happened. It happened one time and I was
You don't
out.
remember, but it's happened more than one time. I wake up at 12 in the morning. She's gone. She fell asleep at the river twice
No, I
in
went
a
and
row.
drove
then
to the river
you'll
because
come
I
back.
was sick of you calling me a whore, so I left and I
Why
accidentally
you
fell
sleep
asleep
at
in
the
the car.
riverfront in the car when you got a perfectly good bed right here?
Oh, next to a man who's calling me a whore and a slut? Seriously?
It's a man you love.
I do love you, but if you love me, you wouldn't say those things to me.
Well, I can
there's
see
cat.
that this has definitely taken a toll on your relationship. Quite frankly, this is a toxic environment for a child to grow up in. You have to know that.
I totally agree, Your Honor.
But
To be in the middle of
ultimately,
it.
what I'm hoping today is that we can figure out what the truth really is. The first thing we're going to do is get the results of the lie detector test. I have those. Mr. Youngberg, in your testimony today, you said you are fully aware of one instance of cheating that night. You suspect there may be others.
Yes.
You
Your Honor.
wanted to know if there were others.
Yes.
You're about to find out that your insecurities have eaten you.
Miss Sandknop, you met with a licensed polygraph expert.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what do you believe we will find out?
That I'm telling the truth, 110%.
Okay. Miss Sandknop, you were asked if you had sexual relations with anyone other than Mr. Youngberg since the one-night stand you admitted to.
Correct.
You said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth.
I told you. Not everybody is on this earth to hurt your feelings.
You do understand, however, that Peyton's paternity is still in doubt.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor, I do
We
understand.
looked at the calendar. Both men fall within the window of conception.
That's true.
Do you remember the 22nd?
Oh, I don't remember it. You're right. You want to tell me something I already don't know?
Are
Want
you
to keep
ready?
bashing me?
I'd like to tell you both something you don't know, which is the truth.
No, I know the truth that I don't remember that night.
The truth I'm speaking of
Is the
is the
paternity.
truth as it relates to Peyton's paternity. I have the results. Are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
No matter what these results say, you have to figure out how to move forward. You two have spoken about how much you love one another, how much you've waited to be together.
Mentally, it's difficult for me to grasp the fact that there's a little bit of doubt.
Let's get the truth.
Thank you.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Youngberg versus Sandknop, when it comes to 2-year-old Peyton Youngberg, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Youngberg, you are the father.
What?
Will you marry me
Yes.
again?
That's what this courtroom is about, bringing families together. And it's nice to see you all on the same side of the aisle.
We can move forward now.
We can move on. You promise? You promise that everything that you've said to me in the past stays here in this courtroom and will not come home with us?
It'll never flow out my mouth again.
You promise?
I promise.
Mr. Jenkins, you say your girlfriend is a known cheater who has spent the last 2 years bouncing between you, her ex-boyfriends, and her co-workers, and can't be trusted. You say there is no way you are the father of her daughter, Asher, and this paternity doubt has put your wedding on hold. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hensley, you admit to making a mistake early on in your relationship, but say you have always believed Mr. Jenkins is your child's father, and you intend to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jenkins, so why don't you trust your ex-fiance?
I do not trust her because throughout the course of our relationship, I've either caught her cheating or attempting to cheat with other people.
And so what has this paternity doubt done to your relationship?
It's really put the relationship on a line because I love being with her, but it's making me have more and more doubts as time goes on because I keep finding more and more cases.
So it has eroded the trust.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't really have a foundation.
No, Your Honor.
Because at this point, you don't believe anything she says?
No, Your Honor.
Which is why you basically canceled the wedding?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been sleeping on the couch and doing very minimal things to help with the baby and such since I don't believe that it's mine.
So you still live together?
Yes, we do.
So that's got to be stressful and awkward. So how is it at home, Miss Hensley? Stressful and awkward?
Yeah, it is. And I have made mistakes in the past. And I did leave him when we first got together. And I have thought about leaving him, so that's where he's getting, where I've cheated on him.
So, Mr. Jenkins, specifically, how have you caught Miss Hensley cheating?
There arose one time when we were first together for 4 weeks. We worked at the same location, and I happened to text her, and she was going to come over and spend the night. Well, she ended up messaging me saying, "Hey, I'm staying late until 2 a.m. at midnight is when she was supposed to get off." So I drove by about, say, 1 o'clock, and I noticed the business was already closed. Then I realized there's only 2 vehicles there. There's her car and her ex-boyfriend's truck.
So why was he there?
Well, he has the times wrong. It was actually during business hours, and it was 11 p.m. And he needed to talk to me about something that was really important. And we were together for a very short time, and so I was having doubts. But no, I did not cheat on him. Nothing happened, and we were in a parking lot. So
Yeah, the
I
lights
don't
were all
see-
the way off, and when you came over to stay the night that night, I went through your phone, and you had still been texting him for about 2 weeks prior. As
He
if you
came
had
with
never
the
broken.
receipts, Miss Hensley. Mr. Jenkins is not playing today. So he went through your phone and saw you had been texting him continuously.
I mean, that
What's
probably,
your response to that?
That probably is true, but that we were talking as friends because, I mean,
You were speaking like you had never broken up.
well, we
What
were
did the
together.
messages say, Mr. Jenkins?
They were speaking about how I miss you and I love you and I wish I could be with you, but I'm busy right now.
Wait, and this is when you were engaged or before you were engaged?
This is 4 weeks after we had been together.
So you do admit you were still entertaining your ex when you first met Mr. Jenkins?
I had just broken up with my ex and met David, so that
All right,
relationship
so
was
do you admit you still have feelings for your ex?
Oh, no, not to this day, no.
But at that time, did you?
Yeah, I did. I thought I did. But then when I left him, when I left David for him, I realized shortly that I made a mistake. And after about 2 weeks, I did go back to David.
All right. So you found out Mr. Jenkins is the one I want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
You came back, you take her back, Mr. Jenkins,
Yes.
and then you try again.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what happens from that point on?
Well, we got another job See, because it's kind of a reoccurring issue is that whenever she goes to a job, she ends up becoming friends with some cute guy she met there. But we were working at a factory at the time. She had a fellow coworker that would always come over and like fake nudge her, joke with her, flirt with her, talk with her. They would sit together on break with me sitting right there next to him. And I never could trust him. Yet one night I went through her phone again, and she was messaging her manager about the coworker.
Wasn't my manager.
About the coworker saying he's so cute, but yet he knows about David.
So you submitted your recollection of that text exchange to the court?
Yes, Your Honor, it's right there.
Ms. Hensley, oh, he's so cute, but he knows about David with the tear eye.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was there a co-worker, Ms. Hensley, that you were interested in?
Yes, and we were friends, but I made it clear to him that I had a boyfriend, and that's why I told him about that, because people were trying to get me to leave David because they saw the way that he treated me for the other guy, and he made it clear that he would not ever do anything with me or talk to me like that because I had a boyfriend.
Did you ever consider leaving Mr. Jenkins for this other guy?
Yeah, I liked him, but we never got to talking like that at all because he respected my relationship and that I wasn't going to leave him.
You don't believe that, Mr. Jenkins?
I don't believe it at all. They knew very well that they could see me, and they could see me watching them. And yet he would still come over there like clockwork every 2 hours for a break.
That don't sound good. So, Mr. Jenkins, take me to the day you found out Miss Hensley was pregnant.
I found out Shania was pregnant, and I didn't at first believe it because we had been together around 2 years at the time, and we were having sexual intercourse 2 to 3 times a day for the whole 2 years long. I'm talking like all the way through January, all the way through February, all the way through every single month.
You actually submitted a calendar to the court that outlines your sexual relationship. This is what you say.
Yes, Your Honor.
Outlines your sexual activity.
As you can see, the caller is coordinated that every single day in January, we had sex every single time, 2 to 3 times a day, all the way into February, into April, see, as you see there, blue, every single day, we had sexual intercourse 2 to 3 times a day. Once again,
January, February.
March, all of it, March, 2 to 3
Every
times.
day?
Every single day.
2 to 3 times a day?
We were young teenagers, Your Honor.
Oh my God.
And y'all had jobs?
We had jobs, yes. She would spend the night at my house a lot, or we moved in together throughout the course of that time at one point.
We moved in together after like 3 or 4 months of being together.
Yes, Your Honor.
In high school.
And these months keep going. March,
Yes, Your Honor.
April.
Every single day.
May, June.
And that's all.
So
Then,
every single day, including weekends, you all would have sex 2 to 3 times a day.
yes, Your Honor. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she got pregnant because every single time.
Out of nowhere.
Every single time. Every single time, Your Honor.
He said he done had sex at least 500 times and out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Imagine that.
The thing I don't understand, Your Honor, is that out of all of those times, every single time was unprotected and precautions were not taken to make sure that we did not have a baby.
Your point is we had sex that many times a day for that many months and she never got pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unprotected sex.
Yes, Your Honor.
It wasn't until this time when I suspected she was with someone else that she ends up getting pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor. As soon as I started noticing a lot more activity around other men.
I have a medical condition, so it's hard to get pregnant if you don't ovulate or have a period.
So you're saying because of a medical condition, you do not ovulate regularly, have your period regularly?
Yeah, I didn't have a period the whole time we were together.
For 2 years.
Yeah, I never had a period, so.
Well, you had to have one before
Well, my
Asher was
doctor said that
conceived.
she was pretty much a miracle baby, and I did have issues when I was pregnant with her because I wasn't supposed to get pregnant.
And that makes you emotional. I can see that. It means a lot to you that you got to have this baby. Oh my goodness, so cute. So, Mr. Jenkins, did you immediately have doubt once Miss Hensley told you she was pregnant?
Yes,
What were your
ma'am.
thoughts?
I was very surprised and shocked that she had gotten pregnant because, as I mentioned before, all this time and she never once had gotten pregnant.
So all of this made you have significant doubt, Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that then affected how you felt for the baby?
It's all because she broke my trust as soon as we first got together, Your Honor.
And so what is your relationship like with Asher?
I love her because I was there when she was born, and I somewhat helped to take care of her, but I put very minimal effort into it.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Even though you had doubts?
I was in a state of mind where I was very shocked as to what I had just seen because I had never seen a child being born before.
So, what scared you into signing the birth certificate? I still don't understand why you signing birth certificates if you have doubt.
I was completely frazzled at the time. I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, so you decide to sign the birth certificate. What is your relationship like with Asher now? She's 6 months old.
I get along with her and she knows who I am, but I don't let her know. I don't call myself daddy in front of her. I want to be 100% sure because I don't want to raise a child that's not mine. I still care for her. I've been with her since she first was conceived.
But you admittedly are holding back.
Yes.
You really aren't giving this child the love and the care that she deserves because you have doubts.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you hear that, Miss Hensley, and you look at your beautiful baby, just 6 months old, how do you feel? That has to be hard on a new mom.
Yeah, it makes me really sad because she calls him Dada, and I don't even know where she learned that from. But she refers to him as Dada, but I've never called him that. Like, she's already starting to talk and everything. She's only 6 months.
Wow.
And she calls me Mama, and she calls him Dada. And so it makes me sad when she says that because he doesn't refer to himself as really anything.
So, Mr. Jenkins, have you really come to grips with the fact that you may not be Asher's biological father? I mean, it's one thing to say I have doubts, so I'm not going to connect myself to the child, and I'm just going to hold back. I see that a lot. It's another thing to get the result and hear for certain you are not a child's biological father. Have you prepared yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have.
I still plan fully to help Shania raise this child because, as I said, I love Shania and I am with her. I've just been holding back because I want to know if it's mine or not.
But see, that really don't make no sense. You know, that just doesn't make no sense because when people say that, I'm like, okay, that was a beautiful sentiment. But if you're really going to be there for her regardless of whether or not you're the biological father or not, then why aren't you fully committed and with her now? You know, don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Tell me the truth.
I just can't throw away a child's life. I can't be one of those guys that does not care for somebody just because they're not theirs.
I get that, but caring for her and taking care of her are two different things. And what it sounds like is you're not stepping up right now to really be a true presence in her life because you have the doubts. And if I tell you in a few moments you are not her biological father, I don't believe that you're going to be an ever-present father and protector to this child. Because if you were going to be that, you'd already be that. Just my 2 cents, I'm just the judge. Jerome, the envelope. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and it reads as follows. In the case of Jenkins versus Hensley, when it comes to 6-month-old Asher Jenkins, Mr. Jenkins, you are the father. We can all exhale. I see that you're happy.
Yes, Your Honor.
See, that's when I know the paternity doubts eat away at people, relationships, because I could tell you really love Miss Hensley and I could tell you love the baby. But when you told me you weren't really giving your all to that baby right now, I said, oh no, it's eating him up.
It's been hard, Your Honor. Not being able to care for her, let her know that I am her dad. It's been very hard. And I feel like a very terrible person for not being there for her.
You're not alone. Miss Hensley, you have a part to play in this. And you see where all of the burden fell, right?
Yeah.
This beautiful baby.
Yeah, that's true.
These are important bonding months. A lot of development happens in the first 3 years of a child's life. It's supernatural. Really, children are the closest thing to God. They're not all messed up and crazy like us.